a few paranoid, oppressive, violent people ruled over domestic territories. Right? It included that. And so people projected this truth into their imaginations, and they made a myth. And the myth was, a good entity rules in heaven. And what is the proof or evidence for this? The evidence is the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people gained influence over religious authority figures, and the religious authority figures said, the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people are representatives of the good entity. See that? So they even admit it right out in the open that there is this projection. What other truths were there about their set of living arrangements? Back when the myths were made and the words were written down in the set of sacred scrolls. What other truths existed then? How about the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people were at war with outsiders? People used their senses and perceptions, gathered truths about their set of living arrangements, projected their truths into their imaginations, and made myths. And the myth was the good entity is at war with an evil entity, right? Do you see the parallel? I can't think of a way of spelling it out for you more simply. And what other truths existed when the words were written down in the set of sacred scrolls and the myths were made? How about outsiders ruled over foreign territories? So, people that existed in the past, what did they do? They used their senses and perceptions, gathered truths about their set of living arrangements, projected these truths into their imaginations, and made myths. And the myth was, an evil entity rules over the earth. So put it all together, and what do you get? The pessimistic myths were, a good entity rules over heaven, the good entity is at war with an evil entity, the evil entity rules over the earth. And these pessimistic myths suggested truths, and the truths were, a few paranoid, oppressive, violent people ruled over domestic territories, the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people were at war with outsiders, and the outsiders ruled over foreign territories. I can't think of a way to make it more clear than that. We could go further, though. What other truths existed when the myths were made and the words were written down in the set of sacred scrolls? How about a system of reward and punishment existed? The system compelled the people of the domestic territories. The people of the domestic territories observed and obeyed the will of the few paranoid, oppressive, violent people. The people of the domestic territories disregarded and disobeyed the will of the outsiders. So, how was that projected into their imaginations? Well, those living arrangements projected into their imaginations, and they made myths of them, and the myths were, a supernatural system of divine eternal reward and abominable infernal punishment existed. The system compelled the faithful observed and obeyed the will of the good entity, and the faithful disregarded and disobeyed the will of the evil entity. Again, another parallel between the two, between a certain set of living arrangements, truths about a certain set of living arrangements, and myths about the spiritual realm.